graduate is bittersweet. On behalf of both of your class advisors, Mr. Brown and myself, please accept our best wishes for all that is in your future. One of the highlights of each Linganore graduation is the student address. This year, our address will be delivered by our class member, Nicholas Wynell.
Thank you, everyone. It is truly an honor to be standing here tonight, speaking to the class of 2014. I'd like to start off on a more lighthearted note, with a song our class knows well. Bye, bye, Linganore High, you're the best high school of 75. Luke Hubbard sang this line at this year's Mr. Linganore competition. It has a simple message, and one that we can all relate to. Linganore is going to be missed. I had the pleasure of competing in this year's Mr. Linganore competition with 14 other guys, some of whom I would not have known without the competition. And it made me realize that together, we are all one tribe, one family, and one school. Luke didn't win the competition, but he did provide a clear example of how the class of 2014 does not play any games when it comes to school spirit. Over the last 4 years, I've seen my classmates participate in spirit days ranging from good old America Day to dress up like a grandparent day. Not to mention those days when we cram ourselves into the gym and scream our heads off for a wooden stick loosely covered in tissue paper and call that school spirit. We've drawn hill paintings, pulled tissues out of boxes with our mouths at a disturbing rate, and even twerked it out on the floor for some aluminum cans in the name of school spirit. In today's world, we need a little spirit. So my first message today is simple. Never let that spirit go. Your passion and enthusiasm for following what you love is every bit as important as what you know. Never forget the lessons that you learned with the other 382 students sitting to your right, to your left, in front of you, and behind you. Now, some of those lessons were taught to you by your teachers, but not just any teachers. Teachers that were voted the best county of teachers in Maryland, the state with the best teachers. Yes, Mr. Koblenz might have given you a first-hand account of U.S. history, and Mr. Tringali might have brightened each of your days with his daily puns. But the most important lessons learned were those that you taught yourselves. I am not exaggerating when I say that every member of this class has the potential to be great, so do not let your greatest enemy live between your ears. The greatest victories in life come from achieving what you have been told you cannot do. I think of Michael Jordan being cut from his high school basketball team, or of Thomas Edison failing to create a light bulb over 1,000 times. We need to have that optimism that Edison had when he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb." It's such a pity that people dream great dreams only to turn away when they're faced with the first obstacle. What does a vine do when it is met with a wall? Does it shrivel up and die? No. It does not let any obstacle stand in the way of its progress. Your attitude should be no different than the vine. That brings me to my second message. Do not ever let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. Poet Marianne Williamson reminds us that our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and famous? Actually, who are you not to be? Come next year, the harsh reality is nobody's going to baby you. Nobody's going to make excuses for what you do later. And nobody's going to have abundant sympathy for you. You may be subject to peer pressure, be asked to conform to what's around you, and sit and wonder, what does it take to be truly happy? My suggestion to you is, as captains of your fate, you have to set your own course for happiness and follow it to the end. As our time as classmates comes to a close, we all turn our eyes toward the future. The future is scary, uncertain, and full of fear. That much is for certain. But just like countless scary movies have made their names on the suspense of the unknown, our own brains fill up the empty spaces ahead with creatures and fears that are non-existent. My closing message to you all is, instead of worrying about what the future may bring, take what you have in stride. Poet Patrick Overton once said, when you walk to the edge of all the light you have in the world and take that first step into the darkness of the unknown, you must believe that one of two things will happen. Either there will be something solid for you to stand upon, or you will be taught to fly. Now, I don't know about any of you out there, but I've always wanted to fly. I'm not afraid at all, because if I do fall, I know I have the greatest support system I could ever ask for in the Linganore community, in my family, in my friends, and in this senior class. We are a class of winners, and a class of the future. So, as we move forward with our lives, wherever they may take us, think back to this year and to this night, and remember that we are one tribe, one family, in one school. Thank you.